Welcome everyone to the Everything Show, episode 321. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Connor. What's up, Connor?
Hello.
What's up, Gloria?
Hello.
All right, so before we go on to main topic, Connor, was there any news on any movies or anything like that? I heard that Avengers: Age of Ultron generated over 200 million overseas already. Do you have any stories or anything?
No, I don't.
All right. Well, let me just give the box office numbers for Avengers, and we'll just see where the show goes, what we're going to talk about. Hold on. Okay. Okay, so Avengers overseas, it opened $201 million already. Probably the budget was probably like 250. So once it gets released here, I'm almost sure it's going to reach $1 billion very soon. Immediately, as we talked about before, movies are jumping ship. That is around the release date of the Avengers. Like we stated before, Pan got delayed, and I'm almost sure the announcements are going to be coming fast and furious about all these movies leaving to get into a nice safe zone away from these comic book movies. Do you think any movies are going to be delayed because of Avengers soon? I could give you the release date of all these movies that are coming out afterwards, and you could tell me. The same week, actually the next week of Avengers, there's really nothing out other than this movie called Hot Pursuit. But then Mad Max comes out on the 15th of May. And Pitch Perfect 2. Now, do you think that they're going to delay the release of Mad Max, or do you think they're going to continue with that, Connor?
They'll probably continue with that.
Yeah, that one, yeah. But the Pitch Perfect 2, they may actually move, probably.
Yeah, and then we got Poltergeist on the 22nd and Tomorrowland. We also got on the 29th, I never even heard of this movie, Aloha. They had this poster in Times Square that replaced Mall Cop, some type of comedy. And San Andreas with The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, that comes out the 29th. So would it be safe to assume that the Avengers will probably be #1 for like a month or a little longer?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, because in June we got Entourage movie, Insidious Chapter 3, and the Melissa McCarthy movie Spy. I could see them moving Entourage. You know?
Yeah.
We also got Jurassic. I mean, I think Jurassic World's in the safe zone. I think by June 12th, nothing's Avengers will probably die down a little bit. So we got Jurassic World will probably be #1 for a couple weeks, I would say. The 26th, we got Ted 2. And then on July, we got July 1st is Terminator Genesis, which it looks like, because it looks like the way these movies are spaced out, nothing's really going up against them. So I think Terminator will probably be #1 for like 2 weeks, you know?
Yeah.
And then in July, we also got Ant-Man, July 17th. So that would be #1 for a while. The 31st, we got Mission Impossible and Vacation and The Gift of July. So I could see them moving maybe Vacation. Mission Impossible, I mean, maybe they should wait a little bit. And then the big moment of truth is August 7th, where we get to see what this Fantastic Four movie is. I think it's going to bomb. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, the trailers haven't received great feedback, so I assume it's probably just going to bomb, yeah.
Yeah, and I guess that will affect the second movie that already has a release date. So then we got Man of Uncle, the Man from Uncle remake. That's on August 14th. That may do really well. We have Sinister on August 21st, Sinister 2. The 28th, we have Hitman, Agent 47, and Regression, whatever that is. And then September, we have a new Transporter, Refueled. Doesn't really look like anything. Maze Runner, the second one, I guess. Hotel Transylvania 2. Oh, and then that's it. And that's the end of that. So, I don't know. I think that we'll have... I think Jurassic World will do well. Because there's nothing really up against it. Terminator will probably do well. But the Avengers are probably going to cause these movies to... You know, basically, some of these movies to drop out, I think.
Yeah, I would say so.
You know. Now, we also have some news today that they have some photos of the Ninja Turtles sequel that's already been filming. So I'm going to screen share that with you. I don't know if you guys are interested in the new Turtles movie.
Somewhat.
Okay. I guess that's a vehicle that they're going to have.
Oh.
2 different vehicles. Okay. Pretty much that's what's going on there. What's going on with Mortal Instruments that you were talking about, Gloria? Anything big?
The same old. They haven't released the news about who's playing Clary yet, but it'll probably be tomorrow because they did it around the same time last week when they released the news that Dominic Sherwood was playing Jace. But yeah, I'm excited because Dominic, everybody calls him Dom. He's actually he looks like he's going to be able to play the character well. And you know, I've seen him in Vampire Academy, and he's really good actor. So I can't wait. Bye.
Okay. I do want to cover the Joker's new look. I don't know if you guys saw it. I'm going to screen share it with you.
Oh.
I am going to say this. If this is something out of like Taxi Driver or like, you know, a drug addict, I mean, that's what you look like there, I guess. But this is not the Joker, and this looks like crap. So if this is actually what the Joker is going to be, I think this movie is going to be crap. I don't know about you. What do you think, Connor?
I preferred Heath's look, but that is far more realistic than someone like a clown kind of look. That's kind of like what you'd see in prisons today. That would probably take on the form of, you know, the mental state of the Joker.
But, I mean, all of a sudden we're worried about realistic. We're not worried about realistic for like 50 years that we have the Joker, but today we're worried about realistic. I mean, I don't get it.
Well,
you know, it's a comic book movie. Like, I don't. Why do you, if it's based on fantasy, why does it got to be realistic?
Yeah.
Well,
that's what I don't understand.
I just think that maybe a realistic look for the Joker is far more better. I mean, they seem to achieve that with Heath, just having him have the makeup on where you could see that he's like human, you know.
Right, but the whole point is that, like, from what I understand in the comic books, with those chemicals, they just revealed now that there's been a lot of instances where the Joker has been killed. And for some odd reason, he pops up after months, fully rejuvenated, and Batman has to deal with him again. So finally, they revealed that the chemical toxins that he was exposed to that made his face permanently like that, not only leaves his face like that, but is sort of like a healing factor that only works when he's about to die or near death. So technically, it revealed in the comics that the Joker is technically eternal.
And Warlord, yeah, can't die.
Yeah, he can't die. So that takes a new spin on it, that the Joker cannot die, and it does make a lot of sense, because in the last thing in the comic books, the guy ripped his face off, and when we see the Joker return, he's like swinging around like a gymnast, but his face is perfectly fine. So, at least they explain certain things, and that would make sense. I don't know. What do you think about that comic book aspect?
It makes sense because you don't really want to kill off the Joker.
Right.
I know that I certainly wouldn't.
Right. It does cause a problem for Batman because Batman does age.
Yeah. So soon Batman will be an old man and the Joker will still be, causing havoc.
The Batman will have to have a successor. Constantly, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up, Mike D? Okay, his microphone's off.
Hey, I'm here.
Hey, dude, we were just going over the new look of the Joker. There's the Everything Show 321. And did you get to look at it?
Get to look at what? The photo of the new Joker?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I did, because I sent you the picture.
Right. But what do you think of it?
He looks a bit maniacal.
Yeah. I mean, you think that's going to take off?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Jared Leto's a great actor, I think. I actually saw him in a film earlier today, and he's a really great actor, and I'm sure he could pull it off.
I mean, he's Will Smith's in that movie too, isn't he? Like Will Smith's isn't Will Smith like a superhero or something like that or is he a villain?
Deadshot or something?
What's that?
I think he's called Deadshot.
Okay. I'm not a DC guy, so I don't. Connor, you're gonna have to help me with that if you have the listing. I don't really know really that much about DC Comics because I'm a Marvel guy. So I mean, is the Suicide Squad like a group of villains as a team, or is it like?
Yeah, it's a group of villains.
Okay. So that's like the Thunderbolts of Marvel, I guess, right? Where they just get all the villains together as a team to do good deeds or something like that, or?
I'm not overly familiar with the concept of it, but I kind of know the general degree that they operate is something like that, where they get together. It's like I think the person's name's Deadshot, and they had like Harlequin and the Joker, and I think like Captain Boomerang used to be in the group,
right,
and stuff. The Flash's arch nemesis.
Okay.
But I mean, people thought that Heath Ledger was kind of a strange choice to play the Joker.
Right.
Knight was being shot, so I mean, Leto is a great actor.
Oh, I'm not questioning Leto. I'm just questioning the look. That's what I'm questioning, because I don't know if I agree with that.
I don't know. It would get a little bit repetitious, I think, if they kept going for the same sort of look with the Joker, with just that painted-on whole thing.
Right.
I mean, at least he's doing a variant of that sort of character.
Okay.
Rather than just like Ledger's difference in playing the Joker was he did all the clown makeup and all that stuff, but he was like this sort of like depressed, like pillhead sort of Joker, and Leto just seems like he's just this maniac type Joker.
Right.
And then Nicholson was just like the over the top Joker from the original Batman film. So they all have a different take on it.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll see many other Jokers from after this. Just like we'll probably see another Batman, I think. You think that, like, from getting back to the Batman vs. Superman thing, do you think that, what do you think is going to happen if this movie bombs? That's what I'm trying to figure out, because I know they're going ahead with a Wonder Woman movie. Would they just stop making those movies, or they are going to shell out like almost $300 million budget or something for Batman vs Superman?
I'm uncertain how much of the franchise is resting on what happens to Batman versus Superman. But I assume that if it flops, they'll probably take either a lengthy break or they'll stop making those films, like you said.
Yeah, I would tend to think so. What about you, Mike? You think that they will continue with the plan?
I'm not really sure. I mean, I don't know. There's no telling. I mean, people, who knows what the impetus is that gets these people to do these things. I mean, personally, I think the superhero films are kind of so burned out and been there, done that already.
I think the market's getting overflooded with it, and I think that we're going to see it where there's going to be something that's expected to do phenomenal and it's just going to burn out, and that's going to be the beginning and the end.
Usually, something that's like that popular, it's going to reach a tipping point where people are going to turn on it.
Right.
Because it's just gotten so, just like flooded out the marketplace, and people all of a sudden come to their senses and just realize, hey, at this point they're kind of like just taking a piss on us, and we're just eating it up.
Right.
Like, it's definitely killed originality in Hollywood, because now they're having to reboot other popular non-superhero related franchises such as Terminator just to keep up.
Right.
So, look at what's happened with the.
You know what? I gotta say this right now. I am going to kill them if the freaking superhero movies are the reason why the City of Bones didn't do so well, and that's why they had to do a show. And
That's of course why it didn't do well, because what came up against Mortal Instruments?
Yeah, I don't even know what other movies were out around that time, because that was the one that was focused on during the time. I mean, I ended up not going to see it in the theater, but because I was busy and stuff. But then I later saw it, but I can't remember even which ones were out. And I don't even remember seeing that much promotion for it, like trailers and stuff for it on TV or anything. So part of it might be because the promotion, they didn't do so well with the promotion, and that's why they didn't do that all that great.
Yeah. And now even Gremlins now is a reboot. It's coming.
See?
Finally greenlit, mind you, by the Goosebumps. Carl Ellsworth is penning the script.
Yeah, cool.
And Chris Columbus and Steven Spielberg are going to produce it.
I love Chris Columbus.
What's that?
Who's watching this shit? I mean, it's like, this reminds me of like reality shows and stuff. It's like, who's watching this shit? I mean, American Idol's been on for like 23 years or something like that, and Survivor.
I can't even believe that. I can't even believe.
Obviously not. I mean, I don't understand like all these novelty shows. Who gives a shit? I mean, their time should have come and gone, and I don't know. I mean, are people that bored? There's nothing going on in their lives that they got to watch shit like that?
What do you mean, like Gremlins reboot? You mean?
Well, no, I'm just saying this whole mentality. It's like, the superhero thing. It's like it just seems like it's so oversaturated at this point that it's kind of like, how many damn reality shows can you watch at one time that are all about talentless, hacks?
Correct.
And, I mean, that's the comparison I'm trying to make. Is it's just like, I mean, haven't we seen enough of this shit already?
Well, it's going to be a situation where every year is going to be superhero and Star Wars. And then eventually people are going to get sick of all the Star Wars stuff coming out too. And they're going to be like, enough already. Because now what's happening is, the sad part is that all these movie companies want what Marvel Disney has. They're actually planning. I mean, Universal Pictures is bringing back the Mummy and Frankenstein and all that. 12 movies over 15 years.
It's gonna be shit too.
They got Ghostbusters. They want like Phase 1, 2, and 3 like that. They have horror icons like Sinister is supposed to team up with another 2 different horror movies, doing crossovers like Phase 3 with Marvel. It's out of control. Like, it's no longer just one movie. It's like package deals now. So like, stop it already. Like, something's going to happen, and then that's going to be the end of it. DC is probably going to be the one that's going to face the failure, because they're trying to copy off of that. And then people are not. I gotta tell you, when Star Wars Episode 7 trailer hit, that was the biggest mistake to have Batman vs Superman teaser out because nobody really gave a shit. I mean, and they admitted it. Nobody really gave a shit. Not that many people were like, "Oh wow." I mean, so something like you can't keep having all these movies battle each other because these franchises are going to get destroyed. And it just doesn't stop. Everything they're bringing back the Entity, which I mean, like just remake everything. Then why don't you with the horror? I mean, I don't understand. You know, okay, Poltergeist, the Entity. You know, we got another Wolverine movie coming out. We have Super Troopers 2 is coming out, which I guess that's cool. But it's just now we not only that, but with Netflix. Okay, Daredevil was fantastic, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're gonna flood Netflix with the superhero things because they're talking about Doctor Strange showing up, Benedict Cumberbatch showing up in a Netflix episode of Iron Fist. You're talking about Spider-Man showing up in Daredevil. You know, they're going to get out of hand. They're going to have like 5 different Marvel Netflix shows at the same time. You're going to have crossovers with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because basically I guess that's what they do to keep the show alive every now and then is give it a little juice because it's got to tie in with every Marvel movie. And then all of a sudden there's a resurgence and everybody's like, yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But meanwhile, half the time, it's like the lifeline is like, eh. So they flood the regular TV, they'll flood Netflix, they'll flood the movies, and people are just going to rebel. It's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
Well, really original content now is on television, like Netflix and AMC and HBO, Showtime. They really have the talent right now. It's not these guys running around in tights fighting villains and robots blowing up buildings and crap, because that's all that's coming out in the theater really anymore.
But even that, now they're making... When Walking Dead was popular, right? Zombieland tried to make a TV series. The fans of the movie got pissed off. They canceled it with the pilot because people trying to copy of Walking Dead. You know, so now they copy off themselves. They make a spin-off that nobody really gave a shit, I don't think, of the teaser because they didn't really show anything. I mean, I guess that's supposed to come out this summer, but who gives a crap? Because everybody's just waiting for Rick to come back.
I think Walking Dead's already reached its peak. It's going to start petering out because it's gotten so it's like held its popularity for like so many seasons now. Yeah. And I mean, like people like me, I watched the first episode and watched it, but ever since the finale happened, I'm never going to watch it anymore because I just
and who cares about
repetitious storylines? It's the same shit that keeps happening, just a different sort of. Different characters happen, different things. But I mean, it's like the same crap. Like, how many times can they go to like a new town or a new city, and they're like, well, are these people going to be friendly to us, or are they not going to be friendly? And there's going to be some angst, and people aren't trusting each other. And I mean, I think they really, the show really kind of peaked around the Governor period, and it just seems like it's on a slow burn out, I think.
And people asking for the Governor to come back, and technically he can't. So it's like, you know, I don't know, dudette. But we're gonna see it. So like, you know, the biggest test is gonna be this summer in the movies box office. What's gonna happen? So.
I still wouldn't. I think they should give Street Warrior his own show.
I think so too. Yeah. We need something a little bit different. Steampunk Star Raising, absolutely. Yeah. AmberStreet.com. All right, gang. On that note, that's it. Take care. Bye for now.